Now in darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. Hand of God has struck the hour. Day of judgment, God is calling. On the knees, the war pigs crawling.
Accept it or not, insurance claim settlement is a game that all building contractors must play for the overwhelming majority of the roofs they will replace. A well-established contest of sorts created by the insurance carriers and backed by our judicial system with its own set of written rules and undisclosed practices that by design represents a process that very few can negotiate with any real consistency. So walk with me for a few minutes and allow me to reveal, from an insurance adjuster's perspective, my top 10 reasons why roofing contractors are losing at this game of insurance claims settlement, which we will correlate to key lessons taken directly from Sun Tzu's Art of War for validity. But before we get started, let me first say that I am not an attorney and the information that follows does not represent legal advice. Therefore, this video is just my opinion, which is developed over the last 20 years working within the property claims and roofing sales industries. And so we begin with the number 10 reason, which refers to he who will win knows when to fight and when not to fight. Because from my experience, I have witnessed way too much effort being put forth by roofing contractors on projects that have little to no chance for approval. And whether you realize it or not, encouraging your customer to file a meritless claim comes with 3 certain consequences. First, it distracts your attention from the pursuit of actual damage. Second, it damages your credibility with your customers, their neighbors, and the property adjusters you encounter on a regular basis. And third, it is a disservice to the homeowner by decreasing their chances of approval for future claims and increasing their chances for underwriting issues that can lead to restrictions or total cancellation of their policy. Number 9. Defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war. So remember, finding a roof with legitimate damage is just the first of many steps for securing a victory. But good strategy will also include researching weather reports to find a single plausible date of loss within the time frame of the previous 12 months of active policy coverage. Clearing away tree debris from shingles and gutters to reveal all the damage, which will assist the homeowner with their policy obligations to maintain their roof, preventing maintenance-related denials and underwriting penalties. Chalk markings that map out all of the relatable roof surface damage. Collecting an accurate inventory of collateral storm damage to roof accessories and lower elevation exposures. Creating organized documents that include damage mapping with proportional diagrams of the roofing system with accurate calculations of surface area, vents, jacks, and gutters. And taking the time to front load the homeowner on the critical details of the process that they will be responsible for. Number 8, build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across, which is exactly what you can do if you're willing to take the time and make the effort to justify your position. Keep in mind that claims adjusters are claims justifiers who seek accuracy within a very limited window of time, Therefore, it is always in their best interest to make the correct decision on every claim so they can remove it from their inventory and never see it again. And believe it or not, roofing contractors can significantly influence their decisions by incorporating a few key practices like 1. Helping them locate all of the damage. 2. Providing them a high-quality diagram with accurate measurements and surface area totals. Remember, the denials take minutes while approvals take hours. So if you reduce the amount of time it takes to justify a settlement and estimate the totals, you in fact will be removing a major hurdle to getting your roof approved. And 3, convincing the carrier representative that the claim has real merit, which guarantees this claim will not simply go away with a standard denial. Number 7, the wise warrior avoids the battle. Because treating anyone as your nemesis is a bad strategy for compelling desired outcomes. Your goals are much better served by establishing your reputation as a trusted ally working towards the common goal of making the right decisions based on the merits of the claim and nothing else. Remember that compelling your opponent towards a win-win outcome will almost always allow you to avoid the need for leveraging a win-lose strategy, which is certain to come at the elevated price of time and effort. Number 6, so in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. Because leveraging your control when presented with bad faith claims decisions will often require more than simply going over the claims adjuster's head to appeal your concerns with their claims manager. So take note that the hierarchy within the claims department is more circular than linear in nature, which means that claims management decisions are heavily influenced by the insurance agent, who answers to the policyholder, who, if you sold yourself like you should have, is taking actions based on your educated advice. Therefore, traditional means to address bad faith claims decisions by appealing to claims management are better served with a counterclockwise approach that leverages the insurance agent's authority first. Number 5. The worst strategy of all is to besiege fortified walls. Because roofing contractors have a very bad tendency of requesting insurance payments and supplements based on the price of repairs rather than the scope of the damages. Remember, folks, that property adjusters have all the authority required to pay for any loss up to policy limits, yet virtually zero permission to alter the price list within their estimating software. Therefore, any discrepancy in price allowance for a repair is much easier to resolve through the details relating to the scope of the damages. Number 4. All men can see the tactics by which I conquer, yet few can see the strategy out of how victory evolves. A critical error related to your understanding of how the standard homeowner's policy applies to roofing settlement, which should include things like the policy definition of an occurrence, as well as provisions for filing a claim, legal ways to absorb policy deductibles, limits of insurance carrier liabilities, filing claims under the previous homeowner's insurance policy, roof maintenance issues that could limit settlement coverage, and allowances for trees, vandalism, mechanical damage, and temporary repairs for mitigating storm-related damage leaks. Number 3, one may know how to conquer without the ability to do it, which refers to an irrational fear of being labeled a public adjuster, which undermines the ability to negotiate a fair and accurate settlement. Keep in mind that there is no law that prohibits any building contractor from providing evidence of a loss or making sure that the scope of repairs provided by the insurance carrier is correct. Remember that public adjusters and building contractors share several common characteristics related to any damage claim, which includes sales, detailed inspections, product calculations, and profit motive. Yet ultimately, their roles remain uniquely separate and distinct with respect to the purpose for which they are paid. Licensed public adjusters are allowed to charge up to 10% of the homeowner's settlement for actions that can amount to as little as simple advice, but they are legally prohibited from being involved with any portion of the repair process. General contractors, on the other hand, are permitted to take up to 100% of the settlement allowances for the portions of the claim that they intend to complete. But buildable projects require a reasonable margin of profitability, which necessitates the ability to address the price and scope of damage to be repaired. A process that is well known to the insurance carriers as reconciliation, which plays out nationwide on numerous claims 1,000 times a day. So in conclusion to this point, not only are you free to negotiate, or should we say reconcile, the scope and price, if you so choose, you have a moral obligation to your customer and to your company to do so as well. Number 2, attack him where he is unprepared and appear where you are not expected, which is essentially quite difficult to pull off if you fail to adequately prepare and maintain an accurate claim file of your own. Keep in mind that carrier claim files consist of activity logs, photos, scope of damage, and a rough estimate for repairs, which is essentially what you will need if you intend to contest the findings of their 20-minute inspections. Remember that a homeowner's policy represents a legal document, therefore claim settlement must be based on claim files that the carrier is willing to defend in a court of law. But carrier claim files in general maintain a very low standard for accuracy because they are based on information that was quickly gathered and hastily assembled. An inherent flaw that is of little concern to the carrier if it represents the only collection of documents on the subject. However, if you are willing to exploit this flaw by creating your own claim file that formally contests their findings with better information, then you will in fact force them to reconsider their position. So think of your claim file in terms of a poker hand with information cards that you can acquire, order, and reveal at the appropriate times. There is no limit to the cards that you can choose to pick up on your own, and there is no limit to the number of cards that you can borrow from your opponent's hand once they have been played. But you must be able to physically hold them as documented facts if you ever wish to reveal them during the times that represents your greatest opportunities to challenge their conclusions. Revealing your cards essentially presents two very inconvenient facts to the insurance carrier. First, it demonstrates substantially better information than what they have collected on the subject of the damage claim. And second, it shows them that you are in possession of essentially everything an attorney would require to prove a bad faith claim denial should the policyholder wish to take the matter to a court of law. In conclusion, it is a very convincing and semi-subtle means of compelling them to reconsider their position and avoid a prolonged and costly battle that they will probably end up losing. And now, the number one reason. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Because, accept it or not, contractors hold every major advantage in this contest, yet fail to understand the extent of their abilities to control the game. So remember, folks, that it is you and not the claims representative who gets the first look, last look, and more access to the loss. Who has the power to schedule your inspection meetings in the mornings at the beginning of the week when property adjusters are most likely to approve a claim? Who can meticulously collect all the details of the loss because you are not limited on time? Who has the power to manipulate the carrier claim file with information that supersedes their own? And who gets to decide when the contest is over? Yet most roofing contractors fail to exercise their full power in this contest because control requires knowledge and we don't know what we don't know. Now, to conclude this video, we have presented a pretty good representation of the main reasons why roofing contractors tend to lose at this game of insurance claims settlement. But there is much more to learn on the subject for those who are interested. So if you are one of the dedicated few who'd like to drastically improve your odds for winning this contest, I encourage you to visit our website at freelanceroofingconsultants.com to pick up a copy of our 90-page illustrated guide to winning the game of insurance claims settlement. To get a more comprehensive understanding of this process, become a better advocate for the customers you represent, decrease your frustrations with the adjusters you encounter, and increase your odds for settlement approval.